So it looks like another one of Blake and Ryan's dragons is going down. Ari Emanuel, Mr. Baloney Baldoni, is no longer the CEO of WME Endeavor.
Blake Lively has become a magnet for speculation, with a series of stories emerging that paint a far more complicated picture than the polished persona often displayed in public. Insiders claim she isn't afraid to wield her influence when it comes to creative decisions, even if it means overriding others. Some point to her early days in television, where she won viewers over with a charming performance, yet reportedly stirred conflict among co-stars behind the scenes. Much of the chatter focuses on tensions that brewed on that glamorous set, as rumors hint she tried to turn cast members against certain individuals.
Oh, because I had obviously very deeply looked into the Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Enthusiastic fans who once saw her as a beacon of style and warmth have begun reevaluating those impressions. These whispered accounts describe someone who demands control, leaving a trail of frustration in her wake.
And Glamour UK interview by Blake Lively, and in her interview, she admitted to trying to poison the cast of Gossip Girl, which is where she made her name, against her co-star Penn Badgley.
Critics contend that where Blake Lively goes, a whirl of friction tends to follow. Reports from past productions suggest she wasn't content to simply show up and read her lines. Instead, there are claims she insisted on script tweaks, pushed for scene reshoots, and undermined anyone who challenged her input. At first, those rumors were dismissed as competitive Hollywood gossip. However, more voices have spoken up, pointing to a consistent pattern of overshadowing colleagues.
One person Blake Lively didn't get along with on Gossip Girl was her co-star Lee Meester, who hated Lively so much that the producers had to put them in separate rooms for meetings because the two couldn't be around each other.
Co-stars have indirectly alluded to an imposing presence that made joint press appearances tense or non-existent. While public interactions captured on talk shows showcased her bright smile, backstage anecdotes told of dressing room showdowns and strategic alliances. The dissonance between her public persona and these alleged power plays is what fuels ongoing debates among fans and detractors alike.
I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah. We got the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
Observers often question how these accusations have multiplied so quickly. One theory holds that social media has simply given people an outlet to share experiences that might otherwise stay hidden. Former collaborators describe a divide between the warm figure celebrated by fashion magazines and the do-it-my-way personality they encountered in private meetings. Some mention her habit of calling the shots, whether it involved last-minute script modifications or demanding that her preferences trump the director's. Others recall moments when she allegedly took credit for creative ideas without recognizing the original source, leaving smaller contributors disillusioned. Fans who initially admired her story, from a standout role on a popular teen drama to bigger leads in films, now question whether that rise involved more self-serving maneuvers than genuine teamwork.
No, I've muted some people. Now that it's a function on Twitter and Instagram, there's a couple people that I have muted.
Good.
Yeah.
Because these allegations remain largely unconfirmed, they've fostered a swirl of online speculation. People who once passionately supported her puzzle over statements from co-stars who appear reluctant to say her name in interviews. Quick shifts in conversation, tense smiles, and vague mentions of difficult personalities feed the idea that friction ran deeper than typical on-set disagreements. The pressure seems especially high when fellow leads have strong fan followings of their own. In one instance, there were rumors of her stepping on Anna Kendrick's toes during a film project, with talk of unauthorized changes demanded by Lively to highlight herself.
No, because Justin, 5 years ago, was the one who optioned this film. He brought Blake on because Colleen Hoover is such a big fan. This is his film, and he has basically been pushed out by the Blake Lively show, and that breaks my heart because I've always been a fan of Blake Lively.
Fans of Kendrick took this as a slight, intensifying negative chatter aimed at Lively. As more behind-the-scenes tidbits filter out, the gap widens between those who defend her talent and those who feel she's built success on intimidation. At the heart of many controversies lies the suggestion that Blake Lively relentlessly safeguards her public image. She and Ryan Reynolds typically present themselves as a comedic supportive duo on social platforms, charming followers with teasing posts. Yet some suspect it's a polished veneer crafted to counterbalance the wave of negative anecdotes. The question arises, if all these stories of turmoil and alleged disrespect are simply rumor, why do they keep surfacing with such consistency?
It worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively, it's not Justin Baldoni, but it is Ryan Reynolds.
Reynolds, often beloved for his humor and approachable demeanor, faces increasing scrutiny as well. Some critics accuse him of quietly enabling her behind the scenes. The couple's well-rehearsed banter may delight many, but it does little to quell the rising tide of claims that her ambition sometimes crosses the line. Doubt lingers over whether either of them will openly acknowledge the growing backlash. Conflicts with past castmates aren't the only issue. Designers and smaller creative professionals have come forward alleging that Lively sourced their ideas under informal circumstances, then vanished without offering compensation or public credit. Whether or not these claims hold weight, they've been enough to spark heated commentary on social media. Fans argue that someone with her platform should support emerging artists, not exploit their work. The wave of frustration is compounded by the fact that these interactions seldom make headlines until someone gathers the courage to speak up. The repeated accusations create an impression that Lively sees herself as untouchable, dismissing collaborations once she has gleaned their benefits. Loyal admirers try to defend her style choices and philanthropic gestures, but critics remain unconvinced, pointing to her persistent silence on any wrongdoing. Even the relationship with Penn Badgley, once among the highlights of her early career, has undergone a thorough re-examination by fans. The pair was linked both on screen and off, but glimpses from interviews years later suggest a complicated reality. Insiders allege she influenced how the rest of the cast perceived him, effectively isolating him whenever he disagreed with her. Some say he avoided discussing the topic in public, preferring to keep his distance from the drama, which only fueled more speculation. Similarly, Leighton Meester, who co-starred in the same high-profile series, is said to have kept a resolutely diplomatic front. Still, online communities notice that Meester rarely references Lively now, prompting people to wonder if she likewise felt overshadowed or undermined by Lively's behind-the-scenes maneuvering. Those who have worked with Lively more recently paint a picture of intensifying demands. Directors reportedly found themselves ceding control to satisfy her preferences, with production schedules thrown off by repeated retakes or set changes. Some claim she leveraged every potential angle to ensure the final edit emphasized her role. In group interviews, she was said to direct conversations so that attention remained on her, leaving co-stars with limited chances to speak. While the typical Hollywood ego battle might not raise eyebrows, the pattern of dissatisfaction among multiple teams signals a deeper issue. If these accounts are accurate, they suggest that her vision of collaboration often leaves little room for true creative exchange. Each new report strengthens the narrative that she routinely prioritizes personal gain, stifling any voices in the ensemble that might challenge her authority. Public reaction has grown more hostile as word spreads. Social media debates erupt whenever her name trends, with one side arguing that every star accumulates some negative rumors over a long career, and the other insisting Lively's alleged behavior crosses a significant line. Some vow to boycott her future projects, claiming it's ethically troubling to support someone who, by multiple accounts, marginalizes others. Others call for patience, reminding everyone that without firsthand evidence, all we have are secondhand stories. Yet the sheer volume of them is hard to dismiss. Critics highlight that any major star can craft a magnetic external persona while behind closed doors. Colleagues feel steamrolled. The severity of the anger suggests a desire among audiences for accountability, or at least an acknowledgement from her side that mistakes may have been made. In light of these rising tensions, the question remains, can Blake Lively move past the relentless claims that she fosters chaos wherever she goes? Or will her image continue to erode under the weight of these stories? She has achieved heights in her career that many performers only dream of, captivating fans with her trademark style and comedic flair in interviews. But every new account of on-set turbulence, overshadowed co-stars, and opportunistic dealings chips away at what was once a polished reputation. Audiences are more vocal than ever about what they expect from celebrities: respect for collaborators, openness to different viewpoints, and a willingness to admit when things go wrong. Whether Lively will address the outcry or hope the chatter fades on its own is yet to be seen. In a world where receipts and confessions appear at a moment's notice, no one remains unchallenged for long.